Hey everybody, it's Knox from the bunker. We're going to keep going today with the complete beginner pathway on TryHackMe, and we're going to keep helping Frank on his meteoric rise up through the ranks. He's still just barely above top 500,000 right now. So we'll jump right in here. We'll see here's the learning path, and we're working on getting Frank that 2-day streak. 2-day streak, Frank. Woo! And we're going to jump through two of these in this video, the starting out in cybersecurity because it's really short, and then we're going to jump straight into this introductory researching, and then we'll be off into the Linux basics. So that will be a lot of fun. So let's just jump right in here and get going. So this second room here on the pathway is starting out in cybersecurity, and I am going to assume that if you are working your way through the complete beginner track, that you want to keep moving down this track and learning about cybersecurity in general, just because you enjoy it like I do. So we're just going to hit complete here because I didn't need to do anything and I could hit complete. And now Frank has a 2-day streak and he's 5 days away from a badge. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. Um, but yeah, this room just gives us a brief overview of cybersecurity. So then we'll move on down to offensive security. And this part, I'm not going to read all this to you. You can read it, but basically, this is talking about the offensive security side, and it just says, hey, if you enjoy understanding how things work, if you're analytical, if you like to think outside the box, and I would add, if you like to, if you just find it intriguing and fun and almost video game like to work on a box and try to see how you can break it, then you're going to enjoy this. I will say I've heard it said, and it's true. You've got to like researching. You have to understand that it's going to be hard. Um, I will eventually talk about my techniques for how to avoid using walkthroughs constantly and how you can actually feel like you're getting somewhere. But you know, read through this. It just says the beginner pathway, the activities page. That's what we used for Frank to look at his meteoric rise. It's over there, and then it just says here, what is the got to read it. What is the name of the career role that is legally employed to find vulnerabilities in applications? And it is the penetration tester right here. I think I got a space on the front of that, and it will get me. If I have that space on the front, it won't accept it. Yeah, I did. Okay, so now I hit submit. And there we go. We got an answer right. Penetration tester. And now we're going to look at defensive security. Oh, by the way, the offensive security is called the red team. Notice he's got the little red laptop there because it's the red team. And then down here is the wonderful defensive security, and they are the blue team. And that's why they have the blue right here. And then you'll hear people talk about, I'm purple team. I'm a mix of red and blue. I'm sure that's completely legit. I'll get yelled at for making a little voice when I did that. But anyway, there you have it. Red team, blue team, and purple team. Uh, red team here. So they give you a couple rooms here possibly that you might want to do, like the attacks using Splunk, analyze memory, introduction to malware analysis, different things that you could look at if you're into the real cyber defense pathway. I would contend that you have to know one to understand the other. Sure, you could be a blue teamer, and that's great. It's very, very important, very important. But you're not gonna. I just feel like you need to know both. Focusing on just one is gonna hurt you in the long run. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just because I really enjoy the red team stuff. So anyway, the name of the role whose job it is to identify attacks against an organization, we're going to copy and we're going to paste here because I'm lazy, and it is the security analyst. The security analyst, the guy in the SOC. Look at that. Frank is just kicking along. He is finishing rooms. I can't help it. We got to go back to the dashboard. We're going to hit refresh. We were at 490,000th. Oh my gosh, we moved up almost 30,000 rank just finishing that room. Frank is killing it. Okay, so now we're in the introductory research room. So this is the next room on the path. You can see here, introductory research. That's where we're going. Don't watch Dark Sex video. It is amazing, but just keep watching mine. All right, so we'll go to the introduction. And it says, look, you're going to have to do a lot of research, and that's what I already mentioned. You're going to have to be willing to hunt and look and do to get things done. So let's see here. Oh, no answer needed. We just click OK. I love those. Those are nice, easy points. You just click OK and everything's fine. Okay, so next here it says we begin by looking at a typical research question, kind you're likely to find when working through a CTF on Try Hack Me. CTF stands for Capture the Flag, if you don't remember. Let's say you've downloaded a JPEG image to your remote server and you think something's in it. That's called steganography. Steganography, there it is right there. And it says, hey, search how do I hide things inside things? And you get steganography, how you hide things inside of pictures. And how do I extract files from steganography? Well, we're going to use steghide. But you don't know that yet because you haven't been using Kali Linux that long yet. But steghide is the tool that you're going to want to use. So, like the article says here, all these links when you look it up are useful. Steganography, the tools list, the files. We already have steghide in. Here it is, steghide. It's in Kali Linux already. You even see like right here, it gives you the exact steghide, extract, SF, and the file name. One of the things that annoys me is when you use steghide, it will always prompt you for a password. And I always would freak out when I was doing early CTFs and be like, oh no, I don't know the password. And then I would like go to it, I would freak out and give up and go to a walkthrough and it'd be like, just hit enter, there is no password. And I would just be like, oh my gosh, face palm. Because I had wasted all the time and all I had to do was just hit enter. And instead of, I don't know what was stopping me from doing it. So you run the command steghide extract, the file name, it'll say password, just hit enter. And a lot of times there isn't even a password on it. Sometimes there is and sometimes there's not. But you do have the option to put, if you use steghide, to put a password on there. The other one is exif. You'll have the steganography and you'll try to use steghide and steghide won't work on the picture, but you know that there's something in it. And the exif tool, that's what it's called, exif tool, will get you what you're looking for. So, and another trick is strings. We'll get to it. There's all kinds of fun stuff. We're learning so much. So let's see here. It says down here, hey, use the steghide. We figured it out. Wow, it's great. We can extract our stuff, even though they didn't actually give you an image to try to test with, which would have been nice. So down here, it says in the Burp Suite program that ships with Kali Linux, what mode would you use to be able to manually send a request, often repeating the captured request numerous times? Well, they're giving it away right there. It is the repeator. So we're going to paste that and put repeator. I think that's it. Oh, why didn't it like that? It's not repeater. I thought it was. Did I just spell repeater wrong? Am I doing that bad today? What in the world? I'm gonna go back and watch the video. I don't know why that was wrong. And then the hash format for modern Windows login passwords is stored in. It is NTLM. You'll be learning a lot about that. What are automated tasks called in Linux? Well, they're called cron jobs, right? Cron jobs. Yep. What is this question? I remember when I did this room the first time. This question literally made me mad because I just don't feel like it's worded very well. What base number could you use as a shorthand for base 2 for binary? Well, what they're trying to say is how is binary represented? Like what number system is used to represent binary? And if you said it that way, it would make more sense. It's base 16. Base 16 is the one that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 0, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then starts over. So that's base 16. And then if a password hash starts with $6, what format is it? It is, we're pasting here, it's SHA-2, oh my gosh, SHA-512 crypt. That's the one they're looking for here. Another one that is kind of annoying to look up, but their point, gotta learn to research and look things up. By the way, you keep doing this stuff and a lot of these questions here are good questions because this is all stuff that's pretty second nature. I mean, if you've watched my other walkthroughs, we've used the repeater already. We've looked at cron jobs. I don't know if we've had to look at any hexadecimal or anything that would be like base 16 yet. When you do John, a lot of times John's smart and John can figure out what the encryption is on something you're trying to decrypt. And you don't have to think about this, but sometimes you do. And this is one of the cryptography standards that you're going to see. So vulnerability searching. Oh man. So this I remember again also thinking that this was a little bit silly. This is not the way you look these up. You're not going to be going CEV for blah blah blah. You're going to look up cross-site scripting on WordPress forms, and then it's going to come back with CEVs, not particular CVEs. So I remember finding this rather annoying because this is not how it works. You don't go searching for CVE numbers. You find CVE numbers by searching for types of vulnerabilities. There was a local privilege escalation vulnerability found in the Debian version of Apache Tomcat back in 2016. What is the CEV for this vulnerability? We're just going to paste it in here. It's 2016. Was the very first CEV found in the VLC media player. And it's this one. By the way, I don't feel bad about giving these to you. Again, I just don't feel like this is like helping you get on your way. And don't you want to move on to Linux basics? Don't you want to move on to that? I mean, look, it's like staring us in the face. If we go back here to learn and we go to the complete beginner and we look, we have Linux fundamentals. Oh my gosh, so much more fun than go search for a CVE number. So you're welcome. You're welcome. What exploit, if you wanted to exploit a 2020 buffer overflow in the sudo program, what would you use? 2019, blah, blah, blah. We hit submit. All right, man pages. Now this one, we're all going to do something fun with this one. So man pages are great. Now this section is cool. You do need to learn how to use man. So you type man and the, excuse me, I'm pulling this over here. That's why I'm losing my train of thought. Use man and the command you're looking for. So like man SSH, and we get the man page on it. I find man pages to be kind of busy. Oh my gosh, look at all of that. That's a lot of stuff to try to search through. You can search in here and be like, let's search for SSH and SSH. We'll find it a lot. So you can search inside here. But one of the other things you can do is you can install TLDR. So sudo npm install TLDR. And TLDR is awesome. So if we do TLDR SSH, it's just going to come back with just all these awesome examples. And 9 times out of 10, that's all I want. I just want an example of how to run the program. There are other times that I need to actually find, something more in depth, and I will go into the man pages. One of the other things that I will suggest you use is explain shell, right? Let's Google it. Explainshell.com. So explainshell.com, you can do SSH-I ID RSA. I'm trying to think of like Knox at 192.168.100.1, and then I think we can do port 2222 like that. Now let's hit explain, and oh yeah, that's so beautiful. So I put the command in SSH, and then I used I, and explain shell tells me what it is. Oh, that's an identity file. That's where you put the key, like IDRSA, to be able to, pass a key in to your SSH instead of a password. And then this is your actual, SSH where you're trying to get to. And then this is the P flag, is to specify a port other than 22, because 22 is the default port for SSH. So explain shell is amazing because you'll see Linux commands from people in walkthroughs and other places, and you're like, I don't understand what a bunch of those flags or those things are doing in the command. Well, you come here to explain shell, and you paste the command in and hit explain, and it will break down, or at least try to break down the command for you. I think I can even put, let's try one more, netcat nvlp. Yeah, look at that, ncat nvlp, numeric only, IP, no DNS, verbose, listing mode, and local port. So it's so nice to be able to come to explain shell and just pop a command in. That was free. You got that for free from me. Okay, so man pages, all that stuff. Okay, so the SCP tool is used to copy files from one computer to another. What switch would you use to copy an entire directory? Well, let's use TLDR. TLDR SCP. SCP, by the way, if you don't know, is it says it's a tool to copy files from one computer to another, but what it actually is it's a variant of SSH. So SSH is a secure shell, right? See, it says secure shell, hence the S in front of the SH for shell, where SCP is secure copy, as in an S in front of the copy command. So it's built on the same protocol. There you go. So SCP. So we want to know how to copy an entire directory. And if we look it right here, recursively copy the contents of a directory from a remote host to a local host. And what's going to be funny is I'm going to think it's R, but then they're going to say it's not or something. I don't know. They'll be laughing at me. Nope, that was right. Okay, so and then fdisk is a command used to view and alter partitioning schemes on your hard drive. So let's TLDR fdisk. And it wants to know what switch would you use to list current partitions. It's right there, list partitions, tac L. A little faster than man. That's why I like it. Nano is an easy to use text editor for Linux. Just learn Vim and VI. Although I just did a walkthrough today where I could not use VI in a shell. I had to use Vim. VI just for the life of me would not work. So sometimes you do have to use Nano. So it's good to know them both. But it's always funny just to get people riled up about the fight between which is better, Nano or VI. So let's TLDR Nano. And it wants to know what about Nano? Which switch would you use to make a backup copy of a file? So Nano path to file. Here it is, backup. So it looks like, oh, this gives the full tac. If you don't know, tac gets you can put a full name of a flag. But if you just have a single tac, it expects a single character. So we're going to assume that I see. It's backup with a capital B. Oh, tricky. You would think it might be just tac lowercase b, but it's not. Also remember that this one made me mad too, because this netcat one is strange. They're like listen on a port, right? So I remember putting in here netcat listen port 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is not right. It's like no, it's not right. So I went in here and looked, and I looked at the format, and I'm like, are you kidding me? They want you to do netcat tac L and then tac P and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's fine. But when you're doing this out in the real world, out in your machines, you're not going to do that. You're just going to do like one tac, and then you're going to have multiple letters. In fact, for netcat, you're normally going to do NVLP to have all those things because you want them all. But in this case, we're going to do L, and then we're going to do P. I wonder if it cares what order they're in. Is it that picky? Nope. Okay, it didn't care what order it was in, but it did have to be there. Okay, so we got that. Final thoughts. I do agree with this. It says you were told in school, I'm old enough to remember when we were told like, oh my gosh, you can't use the internet as a reference for anything. I'm that old. Now you can at least use it, but they're like, don't use certain things like Wikipedia and stuff like that. I mean, what could happen? How bad could it be? I get it, but they're right. You got to get out there and you got to search all over the internet for things. Now, be careful though. Don't just go like clicking on things randomly. It's one thing to go and read about things, but it's another thing to actually execute code on your machine that you didn't write. If you didn't write it, you need to read it before you execute it, because that is dangerous. Don't do that. So here we go. We're going to click complete. Get ready for it. Get ready for it. Oh, congratulations. Yay. Frank, you've completed this first section. Let's go back over here. Let's take a get to activities, and we'll see. Oh my gosh, Frank has moved into the top 400,000 of Try Hack Me. He is in almost, well, I guess he is in the top third. He's in the top 33%. He can put that on his LinkedIn profile now. Top 33% on Try Hack Me. So great job, Frank. All right, so next time we'll kick off on these Linux fundamentals. Thanks for chilling out with me here at Knox from the Bunker. See you later.